Hello everyone. We're going to be looking at a Module 2 review and practice. So we're going to do the first half together, and then there's a second half that you can complete and get that practice in on your own. So you can put your name on the first slide and then push to slide 2. The first part that we have here is solving equations or inequalities and showing your work for each problem. So number 1, the first thing we see is this 4 that's on the outside. So we're going to distribute that 4. So we have 3x minus 1 equals, when we distribute, we're multiplying. So this becomes 4 times x is 4x plus 4 times 2 is 8. Now we want to get our numbers on the same side. So we can add 1 to each side. Negative 1 plus 1 cancels out. So we have 3x equals 4x. 8 plus 1 gets us 9. Then we can subtract 4x from both sides to get it over next to on the same side as our 3x. 3x minus 4x is a negative 1x is equal to 9. So our last step is dividing both sides by negative 1 to get x equals a negative 9. So there's our first problem. Problem number 2, we have 3 equals 6x plus 11 plus 2x. So this 6x and 2x are on the same side of the equation, so we can combine them to get 3 equals 6x plus 2x is 8x plus 11. Then I'm going to subtract 11 on both sides. 3 minus 11 is negative 8 is equal to 8x. Divide both sides by 8 to get x alone, and we get negative 1 is equal to our x. And then all the way on the right, we have a negative 4 that is multiplied by 3m minus 1 is less than or equal to 2m minus 24. So let's distribute that negative 4. Negative 4 times 3m is a negative 12m. Negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4 is less than or equal to 2m minus 24. I'm gonna subtract 4 on both sides, and we get negative 12m. 4 minus 4 cancels, is less than or equal to 2m. And negative 24 minus 4 is a negative 28. Now we want to get our m's together, so we're going to subtract 2m on both sides. Negative 12m minus 2m is a negative 14m, less than or equal to negative 28. Now with this last step, remember we are dividing by a negative number, a negative 14. And when we divide or multiply by a negative, we have to flip that symbol. So it becomes greater than or equal to negative 28 divided by negative 14 is 2. So there's our first 3 answers. Make sure you got all of them plugged in and showing your work. Pause if you need to. And then when you're all set, push ahead to slide 3. On slide 3, we have to solve for y for number 4. So y minus 18x equals 12. To get y alone, we just want to get rid of this negative 18x. So we're going to add it to both sides, because whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Negative 18x plus 18x cancel, and we just have y equals 12 plus 18x. We cannot combine them because the 12 doesn't have an x, so that's our final answer. We got y all alone. On number 5, it wants us to solve for h. So here's h. So we want to move this 6x term first by subtracting it. And then we have 9y minus 6h equals negative 3h. And then just divide everything by negative 3. 9 divided by negative 3 is a negative 3y. Negative 6x divided by negative 3 is a positive 2x, and that equals h. And there's our solved for h. Just using those opposite operations to rearrange our formulas, our equations. And when you're ready, push ahead to the next slide. Which inequality matches the graph? So we have this dashed line, so we know it's going to be less than or greater than, which all of these have, but it's shaded below the dashed line, right? So it's going to be less than in our slope-intercept form. So we have all of these options, so we can test some values here. So this point 0, 0 is a solution. So when we plug in 0, 0, we should get a true statement. So for the first one, we have 3 times 0 plus 0. Is that greater than 9? 3 times 0 is 0, plus 0 is 0. Is 0 bigger than 9? No, so it cannot be option A. Let's look at B. 3 times 0 plus 0 is less than 9. So 3 times 0 is 0, plus 0 is 0, and 0 is less than 9. So it works for B, but we're not positive yet, but we'll keep looking. The next one is 0 minus 9 times 0, and we're wondering if that's bigger than 3. 0 minus 0 is 0, and is 0 greater than 3? No. So it's not going to work for that option. So let's try D. 0 plus 9 times 0 is less than 3. This would be 0 plus 0 less than 3, which, yes, 0 is less than 3. So we know it's between B and D. So what we can do next is let's take this inequality D and solve it for y. So we'll subtract x on both sides to get 9y is less than 3 minus x. And then divide everything by 9, and we get y is less than 3 divided by 9 is 1/3 minus 1/9 x, or x divided by 9. So this would mean that the y-intercept is 1/3, which is not correct. So that one is not going to work, which means B has to be our option. If we solve this for y, we would subtract 3x on both sides and get y is less than 9 minus 3x. So 9 is, 9 is our y-intercept up here. So that one does work. It has a y-intercept of 9, it has a slope of negative 3x, and 0, 0 fits. So our answer here is B. Once you're all set, push ahead to the next slide. Graph all the solutions to this inequality. Okay, so we can do this a few ways. We can solve for y and then graph it that way, or we can do our intercepts. So if I wanted my x-intercept, I make y equal to 0. So I'd get negative 2x plus 4 times 0 equals negative 12. And that cancels to 0, so negative 2x equals negative 12. Divide both sides by negative 2 to get x equals 6. So our x-intercept is at 6 right here. And it's going to be a filled in circle because we do have less than or equal to. Our y-intercept is when x is 0. So we have -2 times 0 plus 4y equal to -12. This cancels. 4y equals -12. Divide both sides by 4 to get y equals -3. So there's our y-intercept. We can connect our dots. And we want a solid line, again, because it is less than or equal to. So it has that or equal to. And then let's test a point. Let's think of this point 0, 0. When we plug in 0 and 0, we get -2 times 0 plus 4 times 0. And we're wondering if that is less than or equal to a -12. -2 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. And when we add them together, we get 0 less than or equal to -12. So this is true, which means this is part of our solution. So then we want to shade this area as our solution set. Make sure you're doing all that shading and you have that solid line. And then you can push ahead to the next slide. Slide 6 here says, here's an inequality. 2x plus y is less than 8. Select all the coordinate pairs that are solutions to this inequality and graph it. So for this one, since I have y alone as just a 1y, I'm going to, let me get my markers. I'm going to take 2x plus y less than 8, and I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides to get y is less than 8 minus 2x. So what this tells us is our y-intercept is 8. These blocks are all going up by 2, so 8 is right here. And the slope is -2, so we're going down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, and making these points. And then we can connect them. And after we connect them, like so, we do see that it's just less than. So this line is actually going to be dashed. So I'm just going to use my white marker to make some dashes in it. So points that are on this line are not a solution. So when we go to graph, 0, oh, we got a shade. So since it's less than, we want to shade under the line, less than the line. So here's our solution set. This area below the line, but not on the line. So 0, 0, yes, is definitely in our solution set. 5, -2 is going to be down here, also in our solution set. -1, 4 is in our solution set. -3, -5 is in our solution set. And then finally 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7 is out here. That's the only one not in our solution set. So take a moment, fill that in, and and check out part 2 for the video. We'll finish up this review. Nice job, y'all.